And actually, the first person I was a hoe with in New Orleans actually wanted to be a hoe with you. And it makes me
just looking at my camera.
I know. You're like, this when you start switching. It's like, Jane, cut. Jane, cut.
Welcome to the Logo Spill Bar. I'm your bartender and host, Johnny Sibilly, and today I'm joined by my good Judy, talented writer, actor, and disability justice advocate. This is Ryan O'Connell, everyone. Come on in, please.
Oh my God, the checks are clearing at Logo.
I hope you're parched, darling, because it's time to spill.
Cheers.
So I wanted to say, I'm glad you're here. I've missed being with you on camera.
Every day.
Every day.
All day. Anyway.
Speaking of Queer as Folk. It got
Yeah.
canceled.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh God, I just been waiting for the calls. No one called me.
I was gonna say, where were you when you found out?
I thought this was Queer as Folk. Someone told me that this was us shooting season 2. Okay, confused.
Technically.
Okay, wow.
I do want to ask you, because, you know, our show was canceled.
Yes.
Is there anything you knew that was going to happen in season 2 that you can share with us?
I wanted to be nude a lot more. I mean, I always wanted to be nude. You
Yeah,
knew that.
you did.
Yeah, and they were like, why is Ryan in his underwear? It's like literally he's outside. He's like in the French Quarter. It's like
He's not on the
freaking
call
out.
sheet today.
Yeah, and I'm just like, anyways, I'm hungry and ready to show. I figured that I would be a flight attendant for like an episode. And
Sounds like a gay life. Yeah.
And then you would probably like rekindle things with Devin or something. And I'd be like, oh my God. And then we would be like, wait, we're actually like not meant to be.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I've heard you say that on podcasts and stuff. It's
That
like,
we
they didn't
were-
meant to be together.
well, I don't think we were.
Oh, okay.
Is that fair to say?
I mean, I guess.
You thought we weren't meant to be?
that's your truth.
You know what? My brain is scrambled eggs because there was a storyline where like you stole from me, but I
Yeah.
think that got cut.
It did. Because of that, you were like, there's no way.
Honey, if someone that you were dating stole literally a mountain of cash that was in your dresser, would you be like, okay, let's do it again? Or like,
Well, the healed person I am now wouldn't do that. But maybe a couple years ago, I would be like, but I love him.
what's crazy to say is I think that's like a bridge too far. So
Your other show's special. It was, you said loosely based on your life.
yeah.
What about it, was very much like your life?
Well, not to brag, but I did get hit by a car. So that was real. Although in real life, it was like much worse. Because
Really?
well, in movies, like people get hit by a car and they're like, oh my God, crazy. And they like literally like dust themselves off and like walk away.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works in real life. I'm here to tell you. So that happened, and then I did lie about having CP. Like I moved to New York as a liberal arts girl.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh my God. Like, first of all, I was like, okay, great. Now I have like a 2-parter. I have like, hi, I have CP, also hit by a car randomly, XOXO. I wasn't like loving that for me.
Yeah.
So then someone was like, oh my God, your car accident. Like, when's your limp gonna go away? And I was like, never. And then I was like, off to the races. You know what I mean? Everything else was sort of fake. I mean, I did lose my virginity for free against all odds. Not to brag.
It's funny you mentioned the losing your virginity for free, because in the show you lost it for a little bit of a coin.
Yeah.
And being at your first acting job, was that like a vulnerable place to be, or how did you feel when you were getting naked and losing your virginity on TV?
That schedule was so breakneck. We shot the whole season in 19 days. So I truly was like, I didn't know what was up or down. And I remember like when Jordan Alvarez, who played my scene partner, he's fantastic. He like flew in and we were like gonna rehearse, but then I just didn't have time because I was shooting until like 2 a.m. the night before. So it actually worked in our favor because when we shot that scene, like I was truly just be like, hi, Brian. Like it was just like real life vibes.
So any awkwardness
It was
would
genuine.
have like been for the scene.
It was so genuine. I mean, now I'm like a seasoned pro.
She's like, now, throw me on any set.
Yeah,
honey.
now I'm like, anyways, let's go. Put me in, coach, I just want to play.
What is the biggest misconception about hooking up with disabled people?
Oh my God. Probably that we can't or that we don't want to You know what I mean? I think that like being born gay and disabled, it's like society just like castrates you. They're like, you won't be needing this. Good luck with your projects.
Yeah.
But we are really horny.
Slutty.
We want to and we can
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. If only society would let us. Oh my God.
So you make a lot of amazing jokes about able-bodied bitches, which, I love.
Sure.
But what is one thing that you think able-bodied people really need to just stop doing right away?
Well, this happened in my show, and I thought if I dramatized it, it just like wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But like, people still will like pull over on the side of the street and be like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Honey, I'm wearing head to toe acne." Like, what are you literally talking
Are
about?
you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
They're like in a Prius, like.
Yeah. And it's always when I'm like, oh, I think that's over, then that really tells the universe that, I need to be cut down to size a little bit. And they send, or like they'll be like, do you need to go to a hospital? So like, just assume that if someone's just like walking down Sunset Boulevard, they're not looking for a hospital, or if they did need to go to a hospital, they could find their way, there would be more of a move. They wouldn't just be like listening to Cocteau Twins on their headphones. You know what I mean? It's just like
sounds real specific.
Yeah, but I just feel like if someone needs to go to the hospital, you would know it.
They might ask.
You would know it. Yeah, you would know it. It's like not up for interpretation. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So yeah, they should probably stop doing that.
Okay. And between your book, Just by Looking at Him, and your show Special,
Yes.
what is it about you that feels like you need to tell stories about marginalized people that are kind of terrible?
What are you talking about?
Your characters are kind of shitty.
That is not true. Okay, by the way, this is like me being an unreliable narrator, and like I'm so self-aware, but then like I'll read reviews being like, Ryan and Special's terrible. I'm like, wait, am I terrible? No, I think that like, here's my real honest to like God thought about that. Gay people really don't like having a mirror being reflected back at them. They want representation, but I think when you really go into the ugliness of being queer and like what being traumatized does to you and how it can cause you to traumatize others and all those things and cause you to act in all these unsavory ways. I think it makes people feel really uncomfortable. Gay men go to great lengths to like not do the work. Insert K-hole and G here. So I think it's just very triggering for them in a way. They don't really want to deal with it. This is me shirking all responsibility and being like, actually I'm amazing and it's actually you.
It's society that did this.
It's actually society.
Well, do you think part of it is because a lot of the ways that we've been represented in media before have been like, we're the good guy, we're the best friend.
Right, and I'm like, have you met a gay person? I was like, honey, we're not well.
What does it feel like to be in your slutty Nancy Meyers era?
Oh, you're referring to the fact that I found the row at the same time as being a slut, which was a real conundrum for me. Because I was like, okay, I'm a slut, but I also want to dress head to toe in turtlenecks and trousers. Yeah, that was hard. I found a way. As I always do. It's been incredible. Yeah, you were the impetus for me being a hoe, because I'd never been a hoe before. I was in New Orleans and...
Yeah, set the stage. Tell the story.
I really wanted to be a hoe. I was away from my boy for like 5 months. And something's got to give, Nancy Meyers, you know what I mean? And I feel like you are good at being a hoe. You know what I mean? And I just like really, you're a thought leader, THOT. And actually, the first person I was a hoe with in New Orleans actually wanted to be a hoe with you. And it makes me
just looking at my camera.
I know. This is when he starts switching. It's like, Jane, cut. Jane, cut. There was a guy that lived in your building that was my first time at the hoe rodeo. And so,
I remember, and you kind of like...
So we hooked up, and then what? No, what?
You kind of like, I don't know, not fell in love.
No, I claimed him.
You did claim him.
But it's that's meant to earnest love. Like literally, like now I'd be like, the more the merrier. Like truly. But I think I was coming from like a scarcity mindset. And I was like, he's mine.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because he wanted to fook you so bad.
Well, because I also met him first.
You did meet him first.
Yeah.
Yes, and I fooked him first, but only because you were like, you can have him first, and then I get him next.
Yeah, and then you did, and you're like,
and
actually...
Never mind, I want him for myself.
Yeah.
And you actually did that. You let me have him.
A hoe with a heart. Well, you touched a little bit on being a slut.
Yeah.
And I really... I want to talk about your Instagram.
Oh, right, because it's pretty slutty.
Well, this
is... Is it cringe? Because, like, honestly, would you ever tell me if it's cringe? Because
That's what we're doing here.
Oh, okay, you tell me if it's cringe. Okay, great. No, because I feel like people are not being honest with me, and I'm like, I know. First of all, I want you to know something. No one's more embarrassed than me. Like, being gay is humiliating. Like, the fact that I need to, like, post my ass, like, literally once a week to survive is, like, I know I'm unwell.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that I know that.
No, I think it's great. I think...
Well, you're kind of a hoe, too. You're a hoe
This
on
is
close...
like the third time you've called me a
Well,
hoe.
no, but you're a hoe on close friends. Not as... I think I'm hoeier, and
Yeah.
that I think
I'm
you
a
are
hoe
the
on close-
right amount of hoe. I take it a step too far. But I'm making up.
Oh,
But
so you say I've been sluttier for longer.
you've been sluttier for way longer. I feel like I blew my load, metaphorically speaking. And I've been a little cringe on the close friends. But the more I actually fook IRL,
Yeah.
the less I need to post ass to close friends.
Right.
Because I'm like, who cares? Literally, it's not that deep. Do you know what I mean?
What would you say, in your professional hoe opinion,
Yeah.
would make a great thirst trap?
Well, you know my angle, which is the side prof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it really
Little
like,
ass.
it shows the ass, like the side of the ass, and
Yeah.
like the snatched waist.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my journey. But you love a front-facing hoe pic. I'm just gonna call you out. Call out culture. It works. It works. You love a front-facing mirror pic.
Yeah.
And I love a side. And that's beautiful. You and I are different in that way, and that's beautiful. And that's community. And that's diversity.
And that's diversity. You have been dating your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Newsflash for those of
Yeah,
you
I'm off the market.
didn't
I'm like,
know.
well, not real. Well, you know, anyway. Whatever, being gay is complicated.
You've been dating since 2015.
Yeah.
Jonathan, Parks
Yeah.
Ramage. And you came out recently and said that you guys opened up your relationship. What's it like being non-monogamish?
It's super fun.
Yeah.
You know what it is? So we are so less stable. Like, we've been together for 8 years. I'm like truly addicted to this man. Like, I'm obsessed with him. There's literally no one better because like truly almost everyone's a flop. So I'm like, my baseline is like so less stable. Like, I'm like truly living, laughing, loving, giving you peak 36 realness. But you know, that gets boring.
Yeah.
So like, I get to go out and like microdose crazy, which is like having these like fun little moments. I'm hooking up with like a lot of 68-year-olds with abs.
Yeah.
Putting the hoe in hospice. I was like, 5 days to live? Come on, knock on my door. I'll be waiting for you.
Do you have any advice for couples that might be thinking of opening up their relationship?
Yeah, it's so corny and Basiqua, but it's like basically like communication. That's like literally it.
Communication's key.
And it's an evolving thing. Like, the rules can change. There's always a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
A little wiggle room.
Speaking of healthy ways to live,
What?
you are sober.
Yeah.
Did you have a rock bottom?
No, I mean, my bottom is rock hard, but no, I didn't really have a rock bottom, and I think that's like a misconception that a lot of people have is like, you need to like literally crash your car into a ravine to get sober.
Yeah.
And I feel like the conversation around alcohol in this culture, which worships at this altar of booze.
Truly.
Hey, did you get another shot of the glistening cocktail shaker? Woo! Yeah.
Drag the show.
Yeah. So basically, you know, as we know, we all worship at the altar of booze.
We do.
And I feel like, you know, there's no critical thinking about alcohol whatsoever. It's like either you have a problem, and you have a problem if you're crashing your car into a ravine or losing your job or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're totally fine. You know, like, keep going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like a lot of people exist in this gray area of which there's no kind of guide. You know what I mean? It's also very much like AA or a bust, which AA is amazing, and it's gotten a lot of my friends sober, but I didn't get sober through AA.
Yeah.
So I just read a book. I read a book called This Naked Mind. It turned out my mind was wearing a lot of layers of clothing. And it's really just it's a lot about like societal conditioning and how like we are conditioned to believe that we need alcohol to have a great time, to have sex. And basically alcohol is like a scam perpetuated by capitalism.
Ooh.
Is that the first time someone did capitalism on this show? I think so.
What would you say is your favorite part about being sober?
You feel such a sense of ownership over your life, like the good and the bad and all of it. It just all belongs to you.
Yeah.
Whereas like with alcohol, I felt like I wasn't steering the ship anymore at all. And that
was
made me
steering you?
Yeah, and it made me feel disempowered, which I don't like. So I just yeah, it's been amazing. It's been like the best decision I've ever made.
So your novel is going to be made into a film, and you're going to be. It's going to be made into a film.
Allegedly, yeah, allegedly.
And you're going to direct.
Yeah. If it does get made. Yeah.
How does that feel to be in your director bag? Is there anything you can tease?
It's a role a Virgo was born to slay. I feel like show running, which I did on Special, is sort of like a good appetizer for directing.
Yeah.
You just need to be decisive. It's so crazy how people in positions of power just like don't know how to make decisions, because that's like literally your one job is to be able to like be like, okay, it's blue, but people will be like, no, but it's red, but it's blue, and you're like literally like we've been here for 5 hours. You know what I mean? So I feel like show running really helped, get me in that mode, and I'm really excited. I mean, I put the troll in control.
Yeah.
What can I say?
So as someone I know that your mind is always going,
Yeah.
almost as much as your mouth.
Yeah.
What's next in the Ryan O'Connell canon?
Okay, let me get you a list of my credits.
Ooh.
And deals. Here are the deals that are closing. No, I mean, I think we actually will, despite all odds, make this movie. It might be a little bit of a journey, but we'll get there. I'm also writing, that gossip account Dumois? HBO Max is doing a show adaptation of it, and I'm writing it with Diablo Cody and Greg Berlanti, which will be really fun.
Is that not under NDA?
Maybe. The deal closed yesterday, and I'm feeling alive!
You said you were writing a play. Are you trying to get into theater? Are you trying to EGOT?
No,
Because
God,
you have
no.
an Emmy.
I do have an Emmy. 2 of them, not to be a bitch. Nominated 4 times. No, I just, this sounds very corny, but this is the Virgo-ness of me. It's like I want to be challenged. So I've never written a play before, and I never directed before. Like I'm really just interested in kind of just like pushing the goalpost and seeing like what I can do.
Yeah, I mean you act. Which
Well,
is pushing the
sort
goalpost.
of. As my scene partner, it's like, okay.
All right, here we go. No, you're great, and you're an
Thanks.
easy scene partner.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you.
You know what I mean, like slutty, not
Yeah, of
easy.
course. Yeah, no, not like emotionally easy.
Yeah,
because
no.
I'm not that.
Well, that's all I have.
It's like, how many bridges did I burn today? Let's count.